Hi, good morning 2E. Today I'll be actually going through this topic called maps and scales. It's actually a very simple topic. This, I need you to refer to your notes 7A. Okay, you need to take out your note 7A. Before I continue teaching the actual content, I just want to show you what actually this topic is about. Okay, let's imagine there is this guy who is holding on to a map of a lake. He's looking at this lake and he actually found the lake in real life. Alright? So, of course, the lake in real life is much bigger than the lake on the map itself. Okay, so how much bigger? Okay, there is a scale on the map that actually tells us that. Now, for example, if he were to measure this on his map, he's going to measure this. Okay, he's going to measure this length. Oh, this length to this length. Now, on his map, if he measures this to be 20 cm, and actually, in actual fact, the real actual lake measures 200,000 cm. Okay, the map is said to have a scale. Okay, so the map has a scale of 20 cm to represent 200,000 cm on the real ground. But of course, the map isn't going to tell you this exact 20 cm is to 20,000. They will simplify it. So they divide by 20 on both sides. You'll be 1 cm is to 10,000 cm on both sides. But they also will not write the units. So they will just write 1 is to 10,000. That means, this means on the scale on the map, the scale that's provided in the map, it means that this is 1 cm represent 10,000 cm. Alright? Now, there are few ways of representation of this scale on the map. They can be expressed in 4 different ways. The first way is very simple. Of course, this is 1 cm is to 20,000 cm. Now on the map they won't tell you it's cm, but it's always cm, is always cm. On the left hand side is always the map, and on the right hand side is always the actual. Alright, it can also be represented as a fraction, where at the top is also cm, at the bottom is cm, and at the top it represents the map, at the bottom it represents the actual. They can also write it in words. They will tell you 1 cm on the map represents 2 kilometers on the actual real ground. Lastly, they will give you a diagram, this black and white diagram. Now, this black and white diagram is a little bit more difficult to navigate because you actually have to take your ruler and go and measure how long this is on the map. Then you use your ruler to measure. You say, oh, 1 cm. Also, 1 cm represents 2 kilometers because this is in kilometers. Alright, so this is a little bit, the graphical one's a little bit harder to interpret. Now, in the exams, we will test primarily the ratio type and the fraction type. Okay, we generally will not test the words and the graphical one. But this is just for you to know. Of course, you will be looking at maps in real life and you might encounter the graphical bar one. So you got to use your actual ruler to go and measure how long the white bar is. Alright, next. Let's take a look at example number 1. Given that the scale of the map is 1 cm is to 25 km, express it in the following forms. Very simple. 1 cm is to 25 kilometers. You just have to change both to centimeters. On the left is already centimeters, so you can just change the right to centimeters. Times 1000 will give you meters. Times another 100 will give you cm. Remember, I told you in the scale of the map they don't write the units, so you got to remove the units. Answer is 1 is to 2,500,000. Alright, this is 2,500,000. This is the answer for part A. Done. Always take note that there must be no units. Alright, now part B is very simple. They want it in fraction. Just give it to them in fraction. Just 1 over 2,500,000. Anyway, they are already both in cm, so you already know. Alright, again, no units. And this is the final answer for B. Easy. Let's go to example 2. Now, example 2, they give you the scale already, so you don't have to find the scale. A map is drawn to a scale of 1 is to 50,000. Always take note, 1 is to 50,000. Always write the units in the next step. 1 cm is to 50,000 cm, because you don't know what you are dealing with. Alright, then, okay, so my strategy in maths and scale is very, very simple. It will help you in area as well. So I want you to do this as a practice all the time when the question gives you the scale of the map. Now, if you have cm is to cm, I want you to have another one, which is cm is to meters, 500 meters. And I want you to have another one, which is cm is to km. I want you to have 3 different types of units, cm, meters, and km. It will help you later part of the chapter, which is the next part, which is worksheet 7b. Okay, it will help you with a lot of area work. Now, they say an expressway is represented by a line of 3.7 cm on the map. So this 3.7 cm is on the map itself. I want you to find the actual length of the expressway, giving your answer in kilometers. You see what I mean? They want you to give your answer in kilometers. Would you use number 1, number 2, or number 3? If you look carefully, number 3 is the only one that gives you 0.5 kilometers in actual ground. So on the map is to actual. On the map is 1 cm. The actual is 0.5 km. Okay. On the map, if it's 3.7 cm, all you need to do is to multiply 3.7 on the left. On the right, you also need to multiply 3.7. You will get 1.85 kilometers. Alright, so you must write, this is the final answer, yes, but you still must write. Therefore, actual length is 1.85 kilometers. If you don't write this last statement, the last mark will be deducted, because I cannot assume that your answer is this from the ratio itself. So I need to look at your answer here. So this step is a must. This step is a must. Alright, so this one is just the ratio, the final ratio. Okay, done. Again, I recommend you to do this, so that I will have at least a cm, a meters, and a km. Then depending on what the question wants, then I choose. Okay, now if you know what I mean, you don't have to do all 3. You can just directly jump to the one that you want after reading the question. Let's take a look at example number 3. Now, given that the scale of the map is 1 cm is to 22,000 cm. This is cm is to cm. I'm going to change to cm is to meters. I'm going to change to cm is to km, 0.22 km. Okay, now they want, for part A, they want you to find the actual distance in km that is represented on the map as 5.5 cm. So on the map is 5.5 cm. They want you to find the actual in km. Again, I'll use number 3. 1 cm is to 0.22 km. So I want 5.5 cm. So I multiply by 5.5. The right side I also need to multiply by 5.5. I get 1.21. I cannot leave my answer like that. I'll just write. Therefore, actual distance is 1.21 kilometers. Alright, that's part A. Part B, they said the distance on the map, if the actual distance is 13.2. Now, you realize they give you the actual distance now, which is 13.2, and they actually want you to find the distance on the map. Now, distance on the map, even though they never give you any units, you must always remember map distance must be in cm. Your map cannot be in meters. Can you imagine holding on to a map that is 2 meters long? No. Okay, usually a map is small enough for you to see. Part B, I would also choose number 3 because it's already in km. The actual distance is in km. So I'll pick number 3. So I use 1 cm is to 0.22 km. Actual distance is 13.2 km. I just need to multiply by how much? So I take 13.2 divide by 0.22. Then I'll get 60. Oh, so I know I need to multiply by 60 on the right side. If I need to multiply by 60 on the right side, I also need to multiply by 60 on the left side. So it will be 60 cm. Although I know this is my answer, I still need to write, therefore, map distance is 60 cm. And I'm done. Simple? Very simple. Now, example number 4. A map is drawn to a scale of 5 cm is to 2 km. So I have a scale on the map 5 cm is to 2 km. Okay, usually for maps and scales, we want 1 cm is to something. You see, that's why for part A, they ask, express the scale of this map in the form of 1 is to r. So let's do it. So 1 is you divide by 5 on both sides. So 2 divided by 5 is 0.4 km. So that is your cm to km. Let's do cm to meter. 1 cm is to 0.4 times 1000 is 400 meters. Let's do cm to cm. Add another 2 more zeros and it's cm. So remember, the scale cannot have units. So for part A, therefore the scale of the map is 1 is to 40,000 without the cm. Right? Part B. The length of the river on the map is 70. They ask you to find length of the river in km. I would choose number 1 because it's cm to km. So 1 cm is to 0.4 km. The length of the river on the map is 70 cm. So you multiply by 70. Multiply by 70. Get 28 km. Okay, so your answer is 28 km. Therefore, actual length of the river is 28 km. And I'm done. Part C. The actual length of the expressway is 42 kilometers. Same. Actual length is 42 kilometers. I will use the kilometers one. So actual length is 42 kilometers. I just need to know multiply by how much. So what I do is I take 42 divided by 0.4. I get times 105. Times 105. So on the other side, I also need to times 105. So it's 105 cm. This is my answer. But I need to map length is 105 cm. Okay, part D is a little bit different. I'm going to do part D here. Find the length of the river in cm on another map of scale 2 cm is to 10 km. Now, the length of the river never changed. The actual length of the river cannot change, right? Alright? So the actual length of the river is 28. Okay, I'm going to highlight in pink. Length of the river is the answer for part B, which is 28 kilometers. Your river is 28 kilometers. No matter what map you change to, the actual length of the river will always be 28 kilometers. Now, this is on another map, 2 cm to 10 km. So we work with this, 2 cm to 10 km. They want you to know, they want to find out how many cm is it on the map. The actual length of the river is 28 km. So again, very simple. I just need to know multiply by what. So I take 28 divided by 10, obviously is 2.8. So on this side, I just multiply by 2.8. then I get 5.6 cm. This is my final answer. Therefore, map length is 5.6 cm. Done. Alright, so work example 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you are done with this, can you do one textbook question? I'm not asking for much, just one textbook question. So what textbook question are you going to do? Let's take a look. Okay, you can refer to a lesson plan under announcements. I want you to do textbook page 198, exercise 7C, question 6 and 14. Two questions. Question 6 and question 14. That's all. Okay, that's all I have for you for today. After you are done with these, upload answers into OneNote and then you can rest.